Coming to you from the Loading Ready Run orbiting underground moon base, it's the LRRcast. Hello.
I like
I don't know that was ever really a very popular sound effect in whatever era of music you're doing.
I'm doing my own special thing.
Hey everybody, welcome to the LRRcast. With your regular four here. It's Graham. Anyone else jump in?
Paul.
I can do this all day.
All right.
I'm James.
That's James.
It would make sense if we go and horseshoe.
And I'm
That's Kathleen. So, yeah, we missed a week there owing to all the craziness that we're doing here, prepping for the upcoming Desert Bus for Hope 7, which is going to be super crazy good. We're really excited about it. Got a lot of neat stuff planned. And you'll find out all about that when it happens, which I guess we can tell you about because it's November 16th.
10 o'clock?
At 10 a.m. Pacific time.
You can see favorites like Paul and James.
Which you have never, ever seen before.
Ever.
You can see old friends like Bill.
It's basically,
New friends.
basically like this, what we're doing right now.
But live
But
and
live.
interactive.
But
Yeah.
live and more interactive.
And for a
And
week.
we're playing a game and we're raising money. So it's almost nothing like this.
Oh yeah, you get to see me go full cray because I am crazy by the end of Desert Bus. So now I'm pretty reasonable and restrained, but during Desert Bus.
So it's, once again, it's 10 a.m. on Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's 1 p.m. Eastern time, and whatever 1800 hours is. What's 18? Because it's 8 hours ahead.
What?
In England.
It's 6.
6
6
p.m.
So it's like a prime time start for pretty much everyone.
Well, it's not prime time at all for here.
But like it's an easily watchable start for everybody.
Yeah.
If you're in Europe, it's easy to watch. If you're in Asia,
If there aren't 20,000 people watching the start, I'm disappointed.
Well, we're not. We can't all be the StarCraft finals.
Or the Shiba Inu Puppy King.
Yeah.
StarCraft finals get way more than
but,
20,000.
That's true. There were like 80,000 people today.
Check out desertbus.org for all the
.org.
information.
Yeah.
get up in that dbus.org.
Do not go to dbus.org.
Do not go there. Go to dbus.org.
That will not take you anywhere.
.org is not helpful.
That Doge.
Such website.
Very fun.
Very fun. Videos that we have done
Are numerous.
since we spoke last.
Less numerous.
One of them, Murdercide. Murdercide. There is a loading time for this forthcoming, but I don't know how much of it is going to get across the
writing process.
the sort of bizarre writing.
Was this basically
alchemy.
just that the word Murdercide as a name for a horror movie was funny? Like, was that the initial
Okay,
thing?
so
we're at the moon base.
Yeah, when we're planning for
Another video.
No, we're planning for the Kickstarter countdown live stream.
Yes.
And we're all throwing out ideas for what we want our video for each year to be.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex is writing them down on the board. And so we're like, all right, for this season, we're going to do Toast. For this season, we're going to do Serious Cravings. And he's writing them all down, season 1 through 10. And then he writes down season 11, Murdercide, the Bloodening. And we're like, what is that? That's funny. And then we start chucking ideas around. It was the four of us and Alex and Cam and Beach. And we were all just sort of chucking ideas around about what Murdercide the Bloodening would be. And then we were like, well, we do need a Halloween episode.
And a lot of it was based around just like the other movies in the Murdercide series.
Oh, we developed a rich narrative history.
Yeah.
And then we went back to our place and where Beige started taking notes because I was way too tired. And then me and Cam and Alex and Graham and Beige all started like trying to brainstorm about this.
The
and
idea was
we got
that
incredibly discombobulated notes because they were literally stream of consciousness.
Yeah, the idea was that we would, we were all like, this is a great idea, and everyone had like awesome ideas. I wasn't really contributing much. It was mostly Kathleen, Alex, Cam, and Beach. And It was like, this all sounds great. We've been here all day. We're exhausted. Let's go get some food, then go back to our place and like have like a chill evening writing meeting sort of thing.
Yeah, well, like drink a beer or have a glass of wine or something.
And so, and I couldn't be arsed to concentrate. I just was like, all right, you guys seem like you've really got a handle on this. Go to town.
Mm-hmm.
And Kathleen was tired and couldn't keep notes, and so Beige was keeping notes and trying to keep up with it, what he and everyone else in the room was saying, which ended up just being
a giant text document of
mess.
things.
Just a mess. Like some funny ideas in there, but just like all kinds. There was all kinds of different directions we wanted to go with
like
it, or
contradictory things, and like because it was just like brainstorming.
yeah, like Cam was talking about, like the trailer for The Hills Have Eyes 2, where like the camera gets like dragged.
Oh yeah, we got
around, which was
distracted
really
for about
cool.
an hour and a half watching
Just
horror movie trailers on YouTube.
Talking about how we wanted the cinematography to go when it was like a much more involved kind of thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of the, but I think what came out of that I was most a fan of was the chronology of the Murdercide movies. So anyway, what came out of that was
A mess.
not even remotely approaching something shootable.
No, it was literally like a Word document with. If you were not there, you'd be like, "What do these words mean? Why are
Yeah.
they in this order?"
Yep.
Like, didn't you look at it and go, "What is
Yeah,
this?
yep.
I
Yeah.
don't understand."
So why did we share the document if it wasn't done yet?
It's just because I was like, I'm confused.
Anyway.
And anyhow, then I tried to write. Then Graham was like, "Somebody needs to write a treatment on it," so I
was
wrote
like,
a treatment on
you
it.
need to take this and do a thing with it.
And then Graham did not like that, so he rewrote a different treatment on it, which
talk
was
about
better.
talk about what you were doing with it.
I don't remember now.
Well, you were going a different sort of direction with it of doing it as
It's irrelevant because it didn't get done. Though.
it's not irrelevant because we're talking about the process. You were doing it in a way that was it was taking the direct to DVD aspect, or actually I think you said direct to video, and running with that like they have no funding, so it's really terrible.
Yeah, there's originally supposed to be like scenes from like the actual movie in there, like more, and like you'd see like people holding booms in the background and stuff like that, and just like special effects that were like really obviously like supermarket cuts of meat being thrown at walls and stuff.
You
people
had a lot of ground beef thrown at walls.
Yeah. There's a lot of excitement about various types of meat being thrown or shot or pushed or
And
something.
I had very
yeah.
explicit set direction, but
Yeah.
Graham did not like that, so he rewrote it, and that's what you have.
Well, it's not.
No. Is the script so then 2 weeks ago, the Friday before this went up, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We sat down at about 11 o'clock in the morning and looked over the script and realized that this is a video that has to go up on Monday, that has to be shot today because the next day we were shooting Friday nights, and we were also on a time limit because we had a Halloween party to go to.
Which
Later
turned
that,
out to be your surprise
which
birthday
turned out
party,
to
which
be
is
sort
why
of-
we were so keen that we had to go.
And then I was late for it myself. This is what happens.
Much to Ash's annoyance.
And then there was only like 5 of us.
And there was only 5 of us, and we looked at the script and realized, wow, we can't do
well, no,
this.
Graham had already rewritten it at that point because I remember reading it this morning and being like, "Wow, you changed a lot."
Yeah, but even then, that still wasn't.
Yeah.
Because the idea of turning it into almost a featurette didn't come up until the Friday morning.
Yeah, because so my concerns with Kathleen's treatment of it, funny as it was that something that we've discovered in the past, specifically from doing the movies video, is that I'm very proud of our production value. Like I think that our stuff looks really good. I'm very pleased with how our stuff looks, but I don't think it looks good enough that if we do something intentionally looking bad,
That it looks
that it
intentionally
will-
bad or just looks bad.
yeah, there's a fine line between like, oh, there's the boom that's like they got the boom in shot, haha, to LoadingReadyRun just did a shitty
Doesn't know
job.
how to make
yeah,
movies.
right.
I mean, yeah, because like
Boy, these
we
people
have
suck.
legitimately got the boom in shot before.
Yeah, and so my concern was that it wouldn't be enough of a joke to carry because it would be too easy for it to just look like we sucked at it.
Right.
So anyhow, we rewrote it. It turned into a featurette, and we spent about 20 minutes filming all the scenes.
Well, no, because first, as you say, I rewrote it into something that was just I rewrote the first part that was just like all the chronology,
Yeah.
which I thought was really, really funny. But then I just sort of was like, and then
Well, then
Shit.
because originally it was about half of the video, or not half of the video, but a quarter of the video was a chronology that's starting, and that stayed the same between what we came to the office with on Friday morning and what we actually ended up shooting. The rest of the video when we first met on Friday was a lot of scenes from the movie, some of which are still in that video, but some of which just couldn't get done. Many of them being like rooms filled with like gore and blood and guts, and it's just like, guys, it's 1 o'clock. We have 5 hours. How are we gonna do this?
My favorite one. My two favorite ones. The first one I think was Cam's from the brainstorming evening. Was the two detectives walk into a room that's just like coated in gore.
Yes.
And the first one's like, my God, how many people were in here? And the second one says, get the scale.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like something in a cornfield or something?
Yeah, there was.
Oh yeah, Southern accent informer. So I apologize for this. What happened to that guy's butthole? And it's just like there's a rack focus, and you see like a piece of calamari dangling from a tree branch, but you can't tell it's calamari.
Like someone's just caught their sphincter on a tree branch and ripped it off.
Yeah. You guys were really big on using various cuts of raw meat.
Once you get into a meat mood, it's hard to get out of it, Paul.
Yeah.
The so scary you'll pee, or the
survived intact from the very first brainstorming session.
So scary you'll pee blood. Oh, I'm sorry. So scary you will pee. Blood will come out of your urethra. Wait, why is that a sentence? Why is that a separate sentence?
That was my joke.
So we had to cut a couple of those scenes because it was just wasn't feasible, and we added in the actor, the director, and the producer interview bits, which those were we wrote those on the Friday.
To make it more sort of like a feature.
Yeah, to make it to show it as sort of like one of those featurettes that would come online before a movie was to open or something like that.
And then ironically, we had an audio problem with my part, so we had to refilm mine on Sunday.
And while we were there refilming yours, we also actually reshot mine because we'd forgotten to shoot the bit where I say, we'd forgotten to shoot the bit where Alex says, because originally it was supposed to be the director, when it said inspired by a true story, it's supposed to go to Alex going, the story was a guy killed some people once.
Yeah, that's
and we forgot to record Alex saying that.
Probably because we were in a hurry to get to some douchebag's birthday party.
Yeah.
No, we looked at the script. We're like, is that Alex's only line? Yep, it is. All right, we're done. And we just missed it.
Well, we didn't even do that. We said, is that Alex's only line? And just like vamp some stuff because there's some
right. And
stuff
so he actually like added some extra lines.
Ad-libbed some random crowd. I don't think it made it in.
No, it didn't.
But
and so then I was like, oh, I really want to get that inspired by a true story thing in there. So then we just reshot my bits as the producer with
what happened to
my
Kathleen stuff? Because I could tell that was different because there was
no audio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's just no audio from the when we shot it the first time. So
because you had the line what line was missing from the final that I remember?
It was something about, was it her yelling off camera?
No, it was her having post-traumatic PTSD. That was
in
the final. You didn't put,
womp womp.
Yeah.
Right. It was like you actually have PTSD from almost being drowned.
From making this movie.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And then
I like that by having Kathleen's character talk about it, we're able to get the stuff about her like whatever drowning in a tub of viscera or whatever it is. You can get that image across, but obviously we don't have to actually set up whatever a tub of viscera would look like.
That's called cheating.
It's called creativity.
Can I read the rest of the Murdercide product that you wrote for the
oh my god
for your treatment?
Oh yeah, because there was going to be like a scroll at the end. What was it?
Perky scroll or perky music with scroll of titles.
Oh yes, for more scares, check out the rest of the Murdercide octilogy is what I called it.
So start at Murdercide 7.
So obviously there's all the movies which you see, and then there's Murdercide 7, Rebirth 2, this time for real, as if like because we're talking about Murdercide 6, so there's already another Murdercide movie made by the time this thing comes out. And then the at Murdercide, the interactive web series, Go Murder, the Murdercide kart racing games, Sweet Murdercide High YA novels, Murdercide 2000, Murdercide the interpretive Swedish opera with soundtrack by The Knife, The Making of Murdercide 2000, Murdercide in the Hood, the interactive board game experience, Murdercide for the Holidays, A Very Bloody Christmas, Murdercide Babies, Murdercide Against Humanity for iOS, Murdercide the Gathering collectible card game.
Nice. All right.
Nice.
All my genius.
Yes. So, yeah, it's all part of the Murdercide Omni Global Empire.
Yeah, which is apparently
My
very
favorite
large.
is Murdercide Babies.
Murdercide Babies is good.
Oh, right. And from the original Stinger was because there's that bit in there with because we were talking about when we were doing the first brainstorming. It was it was going to be like people say it's like Hellraiser crossed with Saw, and like one of my few contributions to that thing because I was in the room but I was playing Magic. One of my few contributions was like no they should all be fake movies. And so then we came up with Killmonger and, of course, referencing Axe Hand.
Yeah.
And then someone said, I can't remember what it was, but it was like, that should just be a romantic comedy.
That was me.
Yeah. It should just be like a straight up, just like a romantic comedy, which is probably my favorite poster that I made for that.
Nice.
From that video. But then the original Stinger was going to be...
We spent like 10 minutes trying to think of a romantic comedy name.
Then the original Stinger was going to be a guy and a girl being like, hey, honey, we should go see Murdercide. Like, what is it? Oh, they say it's from the guys who made Never the Bride. Oh, I love that movie.
Nice.
All right. So
that
went
was
through a lot of
that
changes.
that's the story of Murdercide.
What?
Soon to be Murdercide 9.
From the
story of Murdercide 6.
Yeah.
from the random notes, we used so many gallons of water in our fake blood we caused a famine in the Horn of Africa.
That was Cam.
We hid a bunch of trash bags filled with gasoline next to these co-eds just to get these shots.
That was also Cam.
Jesus.
If you read out things, I can tell you who wrote them, like whose ideas those were.
What about this one?
Right.
Hi, I'm a ghost.
That was Beach.
It's unrelated to anything. It's just this one line of dialogue.
That was my favorite part when I read through the original thing. Oh wait, no, that was me.
Oh, that was you?
That was me because I in the original thing you shared it with me when you guys were at home and I was looking at it and they were live typing and I could see them say this. So it's like, hi Kathleen, I'm a ghost.
That's where that came from.
So that wasn't even an idea.
It was throwing in dumb shit.
Oh my
The
god.
moral of the story,
totally
do not
forgot about
brainstorm when everyone is too tired to actually pay attention.
I
Oh, it was
forgot
good.
about
I think
that.
it turned out well. All right, so
Wow.
anyhow. That was Murdercide.
So yeah,
It's a delight.
and then after more recently we did was it the makeup problem? What was the actual name of the
The body paint problem.
body paint?
Because I
problem.
didn't want to just call it blackface.
Right.
Because it kind of gives away the
body
twist.
paint problem. Which actually that actually turned out really well too. We were
How did you come up with? Because that was your idea originally.
No,
right?
I was just I've been reading a lot. I'd been reading a lot of news right after Halloween and like on the lead up to Halloween about people making very poor costume choices, and I was like, why are people this stupid? And then I thought, with the logical extension of somebody being stupid enough to think that going in blackface for Halloween is a good idea is to be surprised when people are offended at you.
And in fact indignant that the
Indignant,
the
yes.
body paint
Yes.
is
there's somehow something defective about the body paint. that
Yeah.
people
I was
find.
like, clearly it's not me. I'm like a perfectly reasonable dude. Like, there's something is wrong with this body paint.
because you were showing me pictures of like an Africa party in Italy.
Oh yeah, there is a
God.
fashion party that happens every year, and just go with me that I know about all this trash. And the theme of the party this year was Disco Africa. So
Disco Africa.
So you have a lot of people, like lots of fashion designers and stuff like that, dressed as and like models dressed as like African animals, and sort of like maybe slightly pastiche, tribal, a
little sort of like that might be a little bit of a
it's
poor
like
choice,
inspired
but
by
okay,
something you've seen in
okay.
the National Geographic, but
Right.
like they got the traditional face painting and like outfits and stuff, and it's like, okay, it's not accurate, but it's fine. But like a couple people went and like painted themselves like dark brown to do this tribal stuff, and it's like, and then, which is the one that got onto the front page of Gawker, which is where I saw it, was an Italian fashion designer. Italians like super racist, as it turns out.
Well, this one at least.
This one and his friends, not dressed as like black people from Africa, which would be like, I would say like a 10 on the badness scale. These people were literally dressed like minstrels with like the big white mouths, and so that's like a 50 trillion on the bad idea scale. And I was just, and so this is the thing that's on the front page of Gawker, and I'm just like, I'm done. You people are awful. And so yeah,
I like your. It turns out all Italian people are racist.
good surmisation.
well, Italian people are not racist. But these people are stupid and racist. I'm sorry. Like that, I cannot remember the name of that Italian designer. But if I'm ever in the market to buy designer clothes, which I never will be because I'm a self-employed internet comedian, I'm not buying his clothes.
So,
well, there we go.
Yeah. So is it? It was when the three of us were walking home, right? We I don't know, brought that up.
No, we were walking.
Yeah.
home.
It was just. I think it was just basically like from what I understand, like there was the idea of the guy returning the thing, but like that was kind of it.
We had like a page and a half, right?
Of him being
of him complaining to the.
Yeah, we had a page and a half of dialogue sort of worked out. Like the first, basically from the very beginning of the sketch until like determining for sure that this guy was wearing blackface. We sort of had that one kind of worked out.
Right.
And then
but the question was sort of like
what about the rest of it?
Yeah, what happens? And
so then all of us sat down. It was the four of us and Beej and Alex, I think.
I wasn't
you weren't there that day.
No.
Right.
And
yeah,
and then I had the idea of that he was just trying, that he just didn't want to use a balaclava and was trying to be a robber.
Yeah.
And then
which was
Cam
great
was
because
there.
it's like oh, I'm a burglar. Oh, that's worse.
yeah, because so Cam contributed the incredible line of, so you don't understand why you're offended when you showed up in blackface or you showed up dressed like a black person and told people you were there to rob them, which we were just like.
I just like the idea that it's like,
so
not only
funny.
did he not think that blackface was offensive, he didn't even realize that he was dressing up as a black person. Like he wasn't intending to do that at all.
He was trying to be like a jewel thief.
Yeah.
The best part of the video is that the music from the explanation of cultural sensitivity is like minstrel music from the 30s.
Yeah, I had to find some like public domain, like.
I feel like anybody who has copyright over that probably doesn't enforce that.
It was amazing because we were looking up sort of the history of minstrel shows, like the
minstrality.
we were looking
racism.
at we were looking up the history of like the original minstrel shows, but then we came across, of course, the British show that I've heard of, like the British like variety music hour called the Black and White Minstrel Show, which ran until like 1977,
the late 70s.
which was amazing. It's like, wow, that's
horrifying.
It's surprising, is what it is. And it doesn't, the BBC is sort of like, what? No, we didn't. I don't know what you're talking about. That's not anything that we did. Anyway, but I liked the then sort of taking it in the further direction that he consistently dresses like he just doesn't realize the problem.
Yeah, I don't know who came up with it, but the guy from
Klaus von Stauffenberg. I think that was Beej. I think
the Klaus von Stauffenberg outfit. I love that idea of dressing up as a well-known good Nazi.
Yeah,
but it's like, but the costume is the same as any other.
Still a Nazi, which is. I mean, I've seen people dress up like Hitler on Halloween. That's not that bad. That's a very different thing than dressing up in blackface. But it's still, I just like it that it works for the video. And then I was watching an episode of QI recently where they talked about the traditional dress of Spanish Catholics, which they've been wearing for like 1,000 years, and looks exactly like KKK outfits. And the Spanish Catholics are pretty annoyed about that.
Presumably, the KKK co-opted in some way.
Well, because it didn't start as a racist thing,
right? But presumably they. And
then, like partway into their history, someone that happened to be the guy who came to be in charge of that brotherhood himself was super racist and was like, you know what we should do, guys? I've got an idea.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. The Mitchell and Webb look on the history of the KKK, or the Mitchell and Webb look sketch on how the KKK got their stupid outfits is really good. I do recommend that.
So then we actually spent most of that day driving all over Hell's Half Acre trying to find location to shoot.
Oh my God.
Right.
Beige and Graham and I were gone for hours. We went for people who don't know Victoria, there's of course Victoria, and then there's a bunch of communities that make up Greater
You
Victoria.
didn't get up on the mic. You're so far away from it.
So we're in Victoria, and the neighboring community is Saanich, and that's where a lot of the malls are. So we went to Saanich, and there's nothing there.
Because we were trying to hit up like the Halloween pop-up shops.
So
Right.
like we're like already in the next town over, but it's not like super far. 20-minute drive. Or maybe like a 10-minute drive, and there's nothing there. So we then end up eventually going all the way out to Langford, which is like a 25-minute drive. You have to go on a highway. It's technically in Greater Victoria, but to put it like, this is like people in New York driving to the Bronx. This is like people in Vancouver driving to Surrey. Like, this is not a small trip. So
And from Moscow to Prague, why not?
No, that's not the same at all.
I don't know. I'm just trying to get Europeans involved.
From London
To somewhere outside
to
London.
further out. Yeah, from London to 20 minutes any direction in a car.
Yeah.
yeah. So it is pretty far.
Anyway.
So, and we're driving all the way out there to find the one Halloween pop-up shop in town that is still open. Hooray!
Did
So
you
we-
know they were franchised?
Yeah, we found out they're franchised, and that's why they refused to let us take pictures or film there. But on the way there,
I guess they buy in bulk. You
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I noticed with my eagle eye that we passed a local shop, and then I could tell it was a local shop because it said for locals only. No,
It
it's
said locally owned.
yeah, it said locally owned in like big letters, and I was like, locally owned means nobody to answer to in head office and always willing to give us, like, always open for the idea of free promotion. So we went in there, and Graham was like, can I take some pictures? And they're like, yeah, sure, why not?
Well, this is like an
Yay!
actual like costume shop.
costume and party supply.
Not Halloween specific.
No, but they had a lot of Halloween stuff up.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, this is their Christmas, but yes.
I got to say, I'm really impressed with the turnaround of the costume industry.
Yeah, you could
the-
already buy Robin Thicke outfits.
Yeah, that there were Miley Cyrus and Robin Thicke outfits ready for Halloween.
Yeah.
Like with the big foam finger and everything. The Robin Thicke outfit just said twerk suit because of course you can't say who it actually supposed to be.
I just love that. I just want to, see the whatever Chinese sweatshop laborers that are building all these things, just being like, what the hell is going on over there?
I'd like to think that they just repurposed a bunch of old, like, Beetlejuice costumes and just slapped them down.
That'd be awesome if they did that.
It's like, finally, we can sell
Blow the
these
dust
things.
off it.
yeah, take the Michael Keaton face
Beetlejuice-
off.
Beetlejuice is so old. It's so old. Alec Baldwin was thin when it was filmed.
Fact.
Very thin.
Yeah.
So
Amazing movie though.
because our fallback plan was, because we had to shoot it that day, was if we couldn't find a place that would actually let us shoot there, was to take pictures and green screen it, which despite a little bit of jitter and more of the shots than I would have liked, I think worked out pretty darn well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the whole idea to make it seem more real was to actually intentionally shoot it handheld on the green screen with motion tracking points on the green screen and then motion track the background, which was a pain in the balls, but it worked out okay.
I think I was thinking about it, and I was thinking that part of the reason why the jitter might be sort of more distracting than it would be otherwise was because the green screen wall is closer to the actors than the background we showed was,
Yeah, I think so.
which means that it motion tracks as if it's closer, whereas if it was real, it wouldn't have moved as much because of
It's
the
also
parallax effect.
Yeah, because it's also, this is going to be a little weird if you're only listening to this podcast, but I'll do my best to sort of describe what I'm doing with the hand gestures. When we were shooting against the green screen, Beej is here, and directly behind the camera, the wall is flat.
Right.
But what we were trying to make it look like was that Beej is standing there, and the rack of costumes behind him is on an angle,
Right.
part of which is much closer to the camera.
Because
And
it would be
so-
shooting, because the idea is that you're shooting at an angle.
Yeah,
Right.
and so the part of the shelf furthest away from the camera will move at a different rate than the shelf closer to the camera, and then the wall behind the shelf in the far background will move even differently. And so you're missing out on those subtle visual cues, and because we're so used to real life, we notice things like that. So
Yeah.
having said that, I think it worked out pretty well.
But I was thinking about, like, I think the vast majority of the time that we use, because usually when we use the green screen, it's straight on.
Yeah.
And so it's not so much a big deal. Anyway, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So should we move on to some Askler?
We should.
Meow.
All right. Pod put some questions on Twitter, and here are the questions. Aaron asks, are any of the commander decks used on Friday nights actually real? If so, are the deck lists posted anywhere?
Yeah.
Kathleen's is.
Kathleen's is, and Jer's is.
Well,
Yeah.
so are yours.
Well,
too.
ours are precons. He meant
And
the,
ours are
the-
precon
the
and
custom ones. Alex's is not.
Alex's is not.
I just made that up.
So it's Kathleen's and Jer's are definitely both real though.
Yeah, I don't believe either of them have
Mine
deck
does not
lists.
run an opportunity though.
No.
Mine's in flux because like a lot of good Demir stuff has been coming out recently, and I need to go through my deck and update it.
Jer's definitely does run Karn though.
Yeah, and it definitely is full of things that aren't creatures, but that turn into
like
creatures.
what you saw there is actually the strategy for that deck, which is pretty. And the funny,
What you saw there is also the strategy for my deck, which is like kill you with fairies and mill you.
but the Jer was all over Dao Chan before she was cool, like before she came back out in the from the vault or whatever she was reprinted, but Jer was all over
in
that.
Commander's Arsenal.
Yeah,
Anyways.
Commander's Arsenal.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
How long until Cameron takes over Canada with his various and sundry doomsday devices?
Never.
No?
No.
He's more of a theoretical guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron asks, I've joined a video game orchestra here at UCLA and signed up for the next performance, not realizing I would miss the start of Desert Bus. Can you delay it for 4 hours?
No problem.
No.
Also,
Don't listen to Paul.
Also, have you solved my page yet? I have not.
No.
That is complex.
No idea what's going on that page.
No, this is the her page in the anniversary book that the forums gave us.
I know. I don't.
I'm gonna have to really. Granted, the time that I did try to do it, I was a little bit haggard that day, so I've got to try and double down and see if I can solve that. Jamus, J. Enright asks, if not already answered, why does Lady Landline push the buttons on the rotary dial?
Because it's not actually a rotary dial.
Because it wasn't a dial. It was a...
It's a push button phone that's made to look like a dial phone.
Yeah. But still a landline.
Yeah, a rotary phone would have been better there.
But that's the prop we had.
But unfortunately, that's what we had.
Rotary phones are actually quite hard to find now because like they haven't made rotary phones since like the 80s basically, and the thing is most people either got rid of them or are holding on to them as like ridiculous antiques now.
I don't know. I like the idea that she's just reluctantly upgraded because she has to, but this is what it's chosen.
Like, I wonder if does pulse dialing even work still?
Oh, like the like 5 6
because that emulated a rotary phone.
Yeah, I remember that. I had rotary phones in my house for years growing up,
so
and
did I.
then moving to pulse dialing and then touch tone, and
Yeah.
now this thing.
But yeah, that would have made that section funnier if it had just taken her like even longer to do the button. So I regret that.
Uppercase asks, why does Kathleen's hair look so great?
Oh, well, I can tell you that I use shampoo and conditioner like a normal person, and then I put in leave-in conditioner to try and get my hair. And then this is what happens if I air dry my hair. When my hair is flat and straight, it's when I straighten it.
All right.
Products.
Thomas asks, you have 3 weeks vacation, all expenses paid. Where do you go?
New
Yay.
Zealand.
Nice. Wait, where?
Where?
Where did you say?
Paul said,
I
yay.
said yay.
Oh, okay. I was
I
like,
was just like,
Paul's
3
just
weeks
Yay.
vacation. Yeah, all right.
where do I go? Does it have to be one place?
I think to truly enjoy a place, you should definitely spend like 3 weeks there.
That's
I'd
fair.
probably like go to England or somewhere like
I'd
maybe
I'd go to Germany.
and go maybe like travel. I like go to England and maybe travel around to the other British Isles and stuff and kind of do that whole thing. I have not. That's something I would definitely like to do at some point.
Yeah, I have to
Because
say,
I so badly want to go back to England and Japan, which are places I have been, but I guess I should probably go places I haven't been. So I'd like to see the Antipodes, Australia, New Zealand, that area.
the problem with going to Europe is it's incredibly dense. Like Graham and I spent 2 weeks, and we saw
That's
Chichester,
great. You really
surrounding
bang,
area,
bang for your
and
buck.
Exactly.
like a smidgen of London. We could have spent 2 weeks straight in London and
Yeah.
not seen even like a tenth of what the city has to offer. One place,
All right.
3 weeks.
What is the most exciting thing about Desert Bus? I'm not asking why you do it, but why you love doing it.
I guess seeing the total go up and up and up is probably the most. That's the reason why we do it, fundamentally.
But why do you enjoy it? I like interacting with everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a really fun week.
Like obviously, why we do it is to raise the money for children because it's a wonderful cause, and that's obviously we take a massive joy from that.
But I mean, that's also, I think that's where a lot of the excitement comes from too. I think.
Well, also as introverted or not.
I think it's the community as well, though. For me,
as most of us are, right? I mean, because we're not all of us are like huge like class clown extroverts, But we all like to entertain people, and I like knowing that not only am I entertaining people and contributing to their entertainment, that they're chipping into a good cause because of what I'm doing, and I'm entertaining people who are actually like in a hospital or sick, or it just makes me feel really happy that something that I got made fun of a lot of when I was younger is actually bringing good to the world. I get a real internal kick out of that, out of knowing I'm doing good.
All right.
Thomas asks, which is better value for money, a Galaxy Note 3 or 7.5 Kindles?
I mean, 7.5 Kindles is 7.5 of something.
A Galaxy Note.
What do you do with the half Kindle?
Why?
What's the
How does that math work out?
I don't know.
Is that how in terms of price?
That can't. I don't know what
Kindles aren't that cheap, are they?
And Galaxy Note 3 isn't that expensive.
Well,
I
maybe out of
wait.
contract.
Sorry, what kind of Kindle?
Just says 7.5 Kindles.
Oh, okay. I mean,
like
Kindles are
old-
pretty cheap, and out of contract. Okay, never mind. What the hell are you going to do with 7.5 Kindles?
I don't know. Make a fort.
I guess it's a very small fort.
Ooh,
It'd be
stack them
like
up like flapjacks.
It'd be like a fort for your
You
hamster.
could just go
Hamster
buy-
fort.
Hamster fort. All right, so go
You
with
could-
the 7.5 Kindles.
What you do is you get the Kindles and then you build yourself a bookshelf and
Yeah.
put the Kindles.
I like it.
Build yourself a shelf for your Galaxy Note 3.
Francisco asks, favorite fictional character with doctor in his name, in their name.
Does the doctor count?
I assume so, yes.
Let's rule him
Doctor.
out.
All right.
I'm
Everyone likes the doctor, so let's go with other things.
I could see.
I have a soft place in my heart for Dr. Dolittle.
Mm-hmm.
The original Dr. Dolittle books were actually some of the first chapter books that I read when I was a kid.
Doctor.
I mean, he's not. He's more referred to just as Watson, but he's a doctor.
Mhm.
It's true.
Dr. Watson would probably be up there. Dr. House.
Oh, yeah.
House is kick-ass.
That's right.
Um,
He has also not been doctor at various times. I believe.
yeah, I know.
I'm trying to think of my favorite Star Trek doctor, and it's tough. I think I might have to come down on the emergency medical hologram.
Robert Picardo is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
He's the best character in Voyager.
Yeah.
He's also the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interestingly
it's
enough.
true.
There it is.
Yeah.
He gets a name later on.
Does
Oh.
it?
Okay.
No, at the very, very end, I think. Never
Really?
mind.
They give him a name?
I think.
Well,
I think he gives himself a name.
It's
maybe he
probably
doesn't.
Terrible. Well, they do
don't
meet. They
remember.
do meet like the scientist who made him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Who,
yeah.
of course, is Robert Picardo again.
Yes.
For some reason, as with Data,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the scientists always make the thing to
Look exactly.
including the receding hairline.
Yeah.
If I'm making like special me, I'm gonna be like super in shape. you
Yeah.
know, beard
Yeah.
that grows evenly.
All right.
All right,
are you
hold
looking
on.
at? Wait.
I have had to look up the name of this character. Dr. Cruces from Discworld.
Oh.
The former head of the Guild of Assassins.
Nice.
Yes. You see him in Pyramids. Anyhow, I really liked him.
All right.
He's cool.
Next question.
All right. Can I get a meanwhile? Meanwhile, Alex isn't here, unfortunately. If Alex was here, next time Alex comes on the podcast, we'll get him to give you a meanwhile.
Yeah.
Zach asks, have you guys sent out your Kickstarter survey? I'm afraid I might have missed it.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Very, 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 very soon.
We did send out a note saying that we are not going to be as speedy about this as we normally would be because of Desert Bus.
Yeah.
So we apologize for everybody, but we are trying really hard to get ready for Desert Bus.
Also, he asks, Graham, how did you like BioShock Infinite? Quite a bit. Are you looking forward to Burial at Sea? I can't possibly describe how much I'm looking forward to Burial at Sea.
I am hoping that Burial at Sea will make me less motion sick.
Yay.
There's a lot of camera move. in Bioshock Infinite.
There was
and
a lot
then,
of camera moves.
Then the gun moves as well, and it's like.
I'm pretty sure it's the same engine, so probably won't.
Oh God!
I'll walk more
Seriously.
I'll
It
walk
will.
slowly.
It will also be underwater, so I don't think that will
Yeah.
make it any less
Yeah,
wobbly.
that's true.
All right. Chris asks, if you could take one games console to a desert island, which would it be? Note that the island has no power.
Nice.
Original Xbox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
I
that
can
it's big
bludgeon
and
things
heavy.
with it.
Just bludgeon animals to death with it.
That was
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah. The biggest one I could
The
find.
biggest
Can't think
thing
of
you
anything
could
else.
find. Yeah.
Did you see that thing
Maybe
on...
you could turn a Virtual Boy into like binoculars somehow.
I don't think.
Did you see that thing on Reddit the other day that a dental imaging company
Yeah, license.
bought the
or
molds
just bought it, yeah.
of the Atari Jaguar after they stopped making it, because molds, like making the steel die and everything for a plastic mold, is actually stupidly expensive. And so there's these medical imaging things that are they're white, and they have a cartridge slot for like a memory unit, but they look exactly like an Atari Jaguar mounted on a wall.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Wow.
Anyway, thought that was funny. We're leaving the magic questions for the magic podcast. What is your process for accepting or denying sketch ideas?
Well, I mean, you are welcome to send sketch ideas, but we typically don't shoot sketch ideas that we deem are unfilmable. So if you're like 40 paratroopers in full Nazi costume, like that's not going to happen.
It's just basically if we like it.
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't like a
And there's
really
other ones-
extensive process.
And there's ones that we've received and liked and haven't shot, just because it's like, I like that, but it's not really, it
And-
doesn't really work for us, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And I mean, and we do, generally prefer to shoot our own stuff just because it's our own stuff.
Yeah.
There was a guy I did a video.
And sometimes we will see a script and we'll like sort of an idea from it and then take that and turn it into a completely different script.
There was a guy I did a video with in high school who wrote some sketches for us like years ago, like, sort of 2005, 2006, like earlier in our thing. And he was like, here, I wrote these sketch ideas for you. And I looked at them and I was like, these are hilarious, but this is not us. This is not even remotely in our wheelhouse of stuff that we do. And he's like, why not? And I'm like, do you not see how totally different this is in style from anything we've ever done?
What were they like?
Bizarre.
Well,
I'll see if I can dig them up. But
I like bizarre.
So yeah, it's got to be funny.
The I mean, the
gotta
big
be
thing
funny.
is please don't be offended if we don't do any sketches that you do. We prefer to do our own stuff if we can. And if you send in a sketch, it has to really sort of inspire us, I guess. And also there's the whole issue of, we don't want to steal other people's property and stuff. So we have to be very, we have to be careful that everyone knows that.
Well, the standing agreement basically is if you send a sketch to us, it's yours. Obviously, you have all rights to your script. It's your work, but you are allowing us to use it and film it. You're allowing us a non-exclusive right to film it, and we have all the rights to our video.
Yeah.
And it also, and all the sort of ideas and stuff of them also become things that we could theoretically use.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
sent it to us.
Yeah.
So
All right.
just keep that in mind.
Is that it?
One more. Well,
Oh.
3 more, but in one tweet from King Cool. What are your plans for December?
Getting ready for
Sleep.
January.
Getting ready for January and recovering from Desert Bus and
Yep.
gonna spend some time in Seattle, I think.
Christmas.
Yep.
Oh,
Theoretically,
yeah,
I'm doing
going
that.
Christmas shopping.
Yeah. What is
Orgy
the
of consumerism.
what is the worst movie you have
Or just, orgy.
Nope.
Yeah.
No
Nope.
orgies.
What is the worst movie you have seen this year?
Ooh.
On a plane somewhere, I decided, with all of the incredible movies and stuff at my fingertips, why watch something I wanted to see when I could watch something that had been created through a Canada Film Grant and was probably the only person who's ever watched this movie on this plane. And it was called Passion Flower, and it was really bad. And it made me really feel good about what I'm doing with my life.
I have no idea.
Going
It's-
to
Like I was thinking, it's weird that we
I take that back. It wasn't bad. It was just so there. It was like everything that is like
was very-
totally stereotypical about Canadian cinema. It was set in the 60s in Winnipeg. It was about a girl who has like a mentally unstable and alcoholic mother who does like bad things, but they're not really that bad, and it's all fine by the end. And like, you know, stuff happens, and she's like, you know, very talented. And,
Did it have the staple gender identities of Canadian cinema, which is strong female characters and weak, inefficient male characters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's like a hallmark of Canadian cinema. It's really weird.
I
It
did not
was
know that.
certainly movie
Also,
was there.
sex and snowshoes, according to my film studies director.
There was sex. There was
Sex in snowshoes?
No, separately.
There was sex, but there was lots of sex actually.
Mm-hmm.
But
This
there
is
was
on
no
the plane?
snowshoes. Yeah.
Usually they don't do.
Winnipeg. Well, this was Air Canada.
And so they do.
They have to
Canadian
require
films.
their CanCon.
When Paul and I were flying to and from the Escapist Expo, flying to there, you started watching After Earth.
Oh, yeah.
the Smith and Smith progeny space movie.
Yeah, man. I didn't even stay with that one long enough for them to actually like crash on the planet.
It was
I
that
was just
bad.
Well, I was just like, I mean, maybe it's an okay, like it might be fun as like a crazy special effects movie, but watching it on like an 8-inch screen,
Yeah.
like 3 seats down on the headphones while everything else is going on, it's like this is not an ideal circumstance. And even if it was, this doesn't appear to be a very good movie.
Speaking of not,
I'm not going to I'm going to listen to a podcast instead.
speaking of not ideal circumstance, on the way back from the Escapist Expo, I was watching The Great Gatsby on the
yes.
plane, and
That doesn't seem like the right
I'm gonna-
circumstances for a visual extravaganza.
no, it definitely doesn't. And that movie was a visual extravaganza and had some very, very cool visuals in it. But, and I know that some people are going to get ticked off about this, I just don't like Baz Luhrmann. I just don't like his movies. Just sort of, ugh. Anyway.
All right, moving on.
And King Cool's last question, why is Sonic chill like dogs? Oh, nah, I misread that. Why does Sonic like chili dogs?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably
I've never
It was-
known.
that was something, for some reason in the cartoons, they were like, Sonic needs a thing.
Chili
that he's
dogs.
going to be going, well, because it's like, because in a cartoon, he needs something that he's going after and that like the bad guy can lure him with. That's not like.
What about rings? The things he collects in
That's
the
not,
game.
and that it's not like a lady hedgehog because they didn't want to do that.
Right.
It's like, all right, chili dogs. That's something he because like in Roadrunner, it's like bird seed.
Right.
But no, that like what? No hedgehogs don't have like a thing that they're known to eat.
That was my
and-
favorite part about.
For some reason, do rings even show up in the
I have no idea.
in the like good cartoon, like the cool?
Because there was
cartoon?
two concurrently running Sonic cartoons.
The cool like dystopian cartoon rings. There was like you could get the power ring, and it would,
Right.
like he would grab it and go super fast for a while. But I don't know if in like the weird goofy cartoon where he ate chili dogs and said that's no good.
That's no good. That was my favorite part about Sonic and the Black Knight when we did that for Unskippable was that they worked chili dogs into that. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
canon now. Is just Sonic eats chili dogs.
So it's chili dog. Yeah, it's
why?
like
I don't know. Why
it's
not?
like why? Why not? Yeah,
What's
why
wrong?
not?
What's
Are you
wrong with chili dogs?
Are you saying that giant blue anthropomorphic hedgehogs don't eat chili dogs?
Yeah. What's
Prove us wrong.
Yeah. Do
Racist?
you have any kind of authority on
you
that
hedgehog
subject?
racist.
All right, please move on.
And on that note,
Dear God.
I think we can sign off on the podcast for this week. You hedgehog racist. Yeah. Thank you all for listening. What's our upcoming podcast schedule looking like?
What with Desert Bus?
Yeah.
Not good.
Desert Bus
I mean-
is just like a long.
Yeah, I
podcast.
mean-
like this one will go up sometime in the next couple days after we're recording it now, and
Yeah.
then
And then-
the next, 'cause we're recording this on Friday evening.
Yes.
Tomorrow is Saturday.
Yes.
A week from tomorrow
Is Desert
Desert
Bus.
Bus.
Yep.
and we
So-
definitely won't be recording one then, and probably not the week after. Desert Bus
Here's the
either.
deal. We can't promise you that many podcasts in the next 7 weeks. But what we can promise you is all the podcasts in 8 weeks.
Yes.
Because then we are like bound by money.
Yeah, we're
To
financially obligated.
We are financially
Well,
obligated.
no, we have the money now.
That's true.
kidding.
So we
So
can
we
just
don't have
back
to do
out on it?
anything,
Oh,
really.
Jesus. That's way better.
Go to what? Where did you say? What, like Germany?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to Germany.
But
3 weeks. Woo.
Yeah.
But remember, in the new year, you will get a podcast every week, and every other week you'll get 2.
So-
And you have to, because we have to.
Yeah, we have to like
Because if
schedule
we
it.
don't,
It's actually-
we'll feel like dicks.
Actually, how it works is we have to record them, but you actually also have to listen to them.
yeah.
Ha
That's it's not our rules.
Even-
That's just how it has to happen.
Na 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 na.
Especially the people who didn't pay for it.
It's in the fine print of the Kickstarter. Yeah, if you do have
fine
any,
print.
if you do have any other questions in the meantime, come on by Desert Bus. We'll probably have a moment or two to answer them.
Na na
True
na
story.
na 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 desert bus. Na 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 na.
Why?
Desert bus.
Why do you
Na, na,
persist on
desert
getting
bus.
jiggy
Na,
with
na,
it?
Just hit stop.
All right.
If you could get jiggy with it, you would too. You're just jealous.